I think that's what we're all afraid, that this is profiling and xenophobia and some sort of implicit bias that's being reflected here, as opposed to a guy that's just doing his job and lost it. What do you say, Annalise?
Well, I'm concerned, Dr. Drew, about something that you touched on in the last segment, where essentially we don't want to have our police officers temper how they enforce our laws, which is the reason why we have the idea of qualified immunity.
Yeah.
So they have as a defense that unless they actually are taking action that is unconstitutional or against the statutory right, they have a free slate when they are doing their job.
And I'm fearful they're not going to be able to do what they. I'm not a policeman. I don't know how they have to do things to get their job done. That's their expertise. But now the camera's being held up every time they try to do something. Yes, it may hold them accountable on one hand. On the other, it might prevent them from being able to do their job. I've got Sheriff Richard Jones on the phone. He's a law enforcement expert. Sheriff, help us sort of reconcile this. What was your reaction when you saw this video?
Hey, I saw it where the guy, he lost it for the time being, but I don't know a special hand signal for turn signals. I don't know what that signal is. I'm more thinking it's something like a finger signal.
Oh, absolutely. Of course that's what it's. And I think
ask your panel what hand signal is for turn signal.
Well, Sam imagines him blinking his hands as though he's...
Even Dr. Drew, even if it's the middle finger, I get flipped off all the time when we're driving and vice versa, okay? It doesn't mean that I'm going to go buck wild.
When you're a police officer and somebody flips you off, you're not supposed to just go, oh, that's okay, that's the softer me. You're supposed to stop them, and you're supposed to say, hey, don't do that. And, you know, everybody has a little road rage. I drive a plane car, and sometimes I cut in front of people. I don't do it on purpose. They don't know I'm a policeman, so they'll go by me. They'll sometimes make a motion with their finger. And does that make me angry? It sure does. But what I do is I'll pull them over, and I say, you know, I'm a policeman. You can't cut in front of me. I made a mistake. Hey, I didn't mean to make it. But you shouldn't go around and cut back. And
you know what, Sheriff Jones, I got to say something. I think maybe it's something about being a male and driving a car. I can't tell you how many times I do something accidental, and then somebody does something very dangerous to come around me and do something insane to express their anger at what I've done, and flip me off. And I think I would love to do what Sheriff Jones does, and I'm so glad he does it, because that guy may think next time and before he does it. And by the way, you're in New York City, where that kind of behavior can lead to problems.
Let me explain this to you. I want everybody to understand. Police officers in different situations have to talk differently to different crowds. Sometimes you can be real nice and real polite. Sometimes you have to be very loud. You have to show anger, and you're in charge. Stand back. And sometimes a bad word may come out, but sometimes people understand that. This instance here, I don't know what made him angry. It was he needs some anger management, but you don't know what. I guarantee you, this officer, he's on terrorism task force. He works for the FBI. He looks like a guy that is seasoned, and he just got angry. And he needs to be checked. He needs discipline, but he doesn't need to be fired. I don't know the whole story, but he does need some discipline.